YouTube, what's happening? Big Felon checking in. Y'all know the channel. Felon with Firearms. And today we're going to jump straight into it, man. We're here for Nevada to see what it's going to require for y'all to have y'all Second Amendment restored, y'all gun rights. And it's definitely possible. Here we are on this members campaign. So for Nevada, a person shall not own or have in his possession or under his custody or control any firearm if he has been convicted of a felony in this or in any other state. Nevada Rev Stat 202.3601A. Y'all make sure y'all pay attention to them case codes and do your own research. Go Google search them case codes and see what you can find out. But what it say? Firearm rights may be restored only by pardon. C 213.090. Presumably, people with federal and out-of-state offenses may have their firearm rights restored under Nevada law only by a pardon in the jurisdiction of their conviction. So here, like I said, they're letting you know that if you have lost your firearm rights or your gun rights because of a felony conviction and you would like to have them restored, then you must file a pardon. And this is the law. This is not something that you just found on the website. This is the law. That's why I always provide these case codes so that you would know the facts behind the situation. And for, like I said, presumably people with federal and out-of-state offenses may have their firearm rights restored. If you don't know what presumably means, it's used to convey, the definition is used to convey that what is asserted is very likely, though not known for certain. So that there is an opinion that it's possible, to their knowledge, that you can have your gun rights restored with an out-of-state or federal conviction by pardon, but they're not sure. So you would have to do more research, and your research would fall under these penal codes, 202.3601A and 213.0901. Those are the case codes that you need to look into when doing your research. All right, let's go down here to registration. Registration, persons who, that might not even be important. Persons with repeat offenses or convicted of serious felonies who reside in Nevada or who enter the state on more than 5 occasions in a month must register with the local sheriff. There's that case code. Convicted persons who have had their civil rights restored may be relieved of his obligation by the sentencing court, Board of Parole Commissioners, or the Board of Pardon Commissioners. But there is no such relief. No such relief is available from sex offenders registration. So once you, or if you are registered here as a sex offender, I don't know what to tell you about it. And I'm not going to look for you. Here we go. Pardon policies and practice. The authority. The Nevada Constitution gives certain short-term clemency powers to the governor. However, the full clemency power is entrusted to a panel consisting of the governor, justices of the Supreme Court, and the Attorney General, or a major part of them. The legislature has constituted this group as the Board of Pardons Commissioners. A majority of the board can grant a pardon, but the governor must be among the majority. So you can have 2 out of 3 of these these entities agree with it. But of the two, the governor has to be one. So it can't just be the justice of Supreme Courts and the general attorney. It has to be the governor and the attorney, or the governor and the justice of Supreme Courts. The governor has to be a part of that majority decision. The legislature has specified board operating procedures, see below, but it may not it may not it may not modify or restrict board powers. The board meets semi-annually on the second week of November and May, often and more often as determined by the board. The governor must report to the legislature at the beginning of each session of every clemency action. No reason necessary. So, y'all review board meets twice a year. They meet the second week of November and the second week of May. So around that time is when, they process their applications and try to typically make their decisions. Okay, let's see what else we got. Administration. Eligibility. The application revised in 2012 no longer contains criteria for assessing pardon petitions, but provides only that an application for a pardon will ordinarily not be considered unless a significant amount of time has passed since the applicant's final discharge, during which period an applicant is expected to demonstrate complete and total rehabilitation. Okay, let's stop there and elaborate on that for a section. So, they said that in their last revision of the application, they didn't set a criteria for how long or how much time has to lapse in order for you to, file for this pardon. But let's just go off of, general information that can be found in regards to other states. Typically, for the most part, I've seen, 4 to 8 years is the waiting period after your release of incarceration and proving that you are rehabilitated. So generally, if you fall within 4 to 8 years, me personally, I would go ahead and put a pardon in. But in those 4 to 8 years, work on yourself, build yourself up, start a business, take classes. If you've taken substance abuse, anger management, you if you've gotten a trade, you got raises, or not raises, but yeah, raises included. But if you got advancements in work, getting better positions, better opportunities, have that stuff documented. Keep up with those documents, even if it's just a screenshot from your web portal of your job, where, okay, it shows the list of advancements that you've made since you've been with that company. Those are the things that prove rehabilitation. Documentation. Document everything, because these are the things that are going to help you influence the board that you are rehabilitated and why you should be considered for restoration of your gun rights. Okay, let's see the process. Let's go down to the process. The Division of Parole and Probation prepares an extensive background investigation report for the board's consideration. A process that generally takes 2 to 3 months. So for those of y'all who, want to know how long the process takes, there it is. It takes 2 to 3 months, after which cases will be chosen for a hearing. The board may hear cases twice a year. In recent years, for budgetary reasons, the board has held only one hearing each year. All applications must be submitted at least 90 days beforehand. So that 2 to 3 months, that those 2 months to where they have the hearing, submit your applications 90 days before that month. So 3 months beforehand, copies of this agenda are mailed to every Nevada judge, every Nevada district attorney, and every person on the mailing list of the Board of Pardons. The board must notify the county attorney and the court of conviction 30 days before the hearing, and any victim 15 days before the hearing. So if your crime involved a victim, they will be notified as well. The county district attorney also gives notice to victims. Applications are generally presented to the board only after recommendation of the Department of Corrections and/or Secretary of the board. Hearings are informal. Proceedings are subject to the Nevada Administrative Procedure Act, so the public receives 3 working days advance notice of a hearing, and minutes of meetings are public. The board may grant unconditional pardons with firearm rights and conditional without. So look at here. Make sure in your request you ask for unconditional, because the board may grant unconditional pardon so that means the unconditional, you get your gun rights back, and the conditional ones, the conditional pardons, you do not get your gun rights back. So make sure you specify. Alright, so let's get over here to the pardon board website so that we can review the application if available. Okay, the Nevada Board of Pardons and Commissioners, effects of a pardon. What a pardon does. An unconditional pardon removes all disabilities resulting from the conviction thereof. A pardon forgives but does not forget. So your record is not erased. As you can see, there's options over here for that, but I'm not going to get into that. But a pardon forgives but does not forget. A pardon is the only instrument available to restore one's rights to bear arms in Nevada. You see that? This is on the Pardon Board of Commissioners website. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. A pardon is the only instrument available to restore one's right to bear arms in Nevada. And to tell you everything a pardon does not do. A pardon does not overturn a judgment of a conviction. A pardon does not erase or obliterate the fact that one was once convicted of a crime. A pardon does not substitute a good reputation for one that is bad. A pardon does not relieve a convicted sex offender of the requirements to register as such. A pardon does not attest to rehabilitation of a person. Please note. So let's see if we can find this actual application. Pardon application. So let's go over the application if we can. Effects of pardons in Nevada, restoration of civil rights, settling of criminal record, application for a pardon. Here we are. State of Nevada, Board of Pardons, Carson City, Nevada. Application for a pardon. So of course, they want your general information, your identification, employment, name, date, race, address, date of birth, social, your citizenship. They want to know if you're represented by a counsel. If not, cool. The current employment status, employer name, supervisor phone number, etc. Action 2. This is one of the important parts. All of it is important, but this is a part we're going to put emphasis on. Requested action. The first one, unconditional pardon with restoration of civil rights to include the right to bear arms. And the second one is restoration of civil rights without. But this is very important. Make sure you select the right option. Okay? So, It says, if you are requesting an unconditional pardon with restoration of rights to bear arms, please explain if there's a specific need for the use of a firearm, or if the request for a full pardon is general in nature. If you are requesting a pardon with the restoration of civil rights without your rights to bear arms, please explain if there's a specific reason for not requesting an unconditional pardon. So, and this is where you elaborate. What reasons do you want your gun rights back? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to hunt? Do you want to possess a part of your family's heirloom? Do you want to be able to educate your children on firearm safety? You know, is a plethora of reasons, general justifiable reasons to why you would want your gun rights back, especially if you can provide documentation that supports your rehabilitation. If applicable, please explain any specific circumstances that create an urgent need for a pardon. Employment, licenses, deprivation. Please attach any documents you may have to support the circumstances. And just like above, when requesting when you request for them, please provide your support and documentation. And statement of justification. Please provide any statement detailing why you think it is appropriate at this time to grant your request. You know, I've lived a law-abiding life and contributing life to the U.S. Constitution for the last, 4 to 8 years. I've had no negative encounters with law enforcement. I've excelled in these areas in my life, and this pardon would open these doors for me. And these are the reasons why you're requesting it. Of course, going into more in detail, I'm just giving a general idea to get your brain churning, but there are many of reasons. All right, Section 4, the criminal case to be considered. The only felony convictions and misdemeanor domestic battery convictions received in Nevada may be considered. List each case you wish to have action on. Attach a separate sheet if necessary. So this is where you need to include all your felony convictions and misdemeanor domestic violence, because domestic violence is a disqualifying charge for a firearm. They want to know the jurisdiction, the county, the amount of fines of restitution, have they been paid, sentencing judge, sentencing date, terms of probation, discharge of probation. They need to know the detail. They need to know the specs. Other unsealed criminal convictions in Nevada. Indicate any and all unsealed criminal convictions you have received in Nevada that do not impact your civil rights. So any other conviction you may have, misdemeanor, speeding ticket, misdemeanor, jaywalking, it don't matter what it is. Even though it's not disqualifying you from your gun rights, you still have to list it. And arrest in the past 10 years that did not result in a conviction. They even want to know about charges that you may have been detained for but not convicted of. So please include that as well. And lastly, let's see. General questions. Have you ever appeared before the board before? Have you been granted clemency? Do you have a pending application? And like I said, your signature, waiver of liability and release. And that is the process for you guys in Nevada. You know what I'm saying? So, and this application was revised 6/26/2019. So, you guys get on it, man. I'm going to get this uploaded for y'all. Please share this information. Please let your peers know about this channel, especially those who may have had, who have similar obstacles in their background that's preventing them from living a better life, preventing them or hindering them from being able to protect themselves. And of course, they have proven to themselves and to society that they're a better person than they were when they caught that charge. So I'm going to get this uploaded for y'all. Until next time, Big Felon checking out. Felon with Firearms.